What is up, guys, and welcome back here to the Utah Utes Dynasty. We're here today. We've got the mid-season update, and here today, we're just gonna go through and see what's going on through the season. I'll do recruiting last because I know it's usually the favorite thing. That's why you always want to put it last. So we'll start with the top 25 and how it's looking this season. In terms of the playoffs, everything's going swell. I mean, we've got some different teams. I mean, Ohio State's up there. Clemson, Tennessee, Oklahoma State. There's some interesting teams at least. Oklahoma's there. Alabama, USC, Florida State. You know, the boring teams. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Georgia, Auburn, Iowa, Florida, Miami. And us, Utah, we have one loss. We have a chance to climb up. The Oregon State win didn't help us at all. Oregon, I don't know, they're not as strong this season, so they won't look as good in the resume maybe. There's no really interesting teams. It's just legit teams on here. And the playoff really isn't shaping up to be that interesting as of right now. But maybe it could. I don't know. Maybe if our name was in the mix. That's what I'm more focused on right now. So we're only midway through the season. We've got 6 more games to go. And then possibly conference championship. So we've got a long ways to go as we look at the conference. In fact, we see we are atop the conference after beating Oregon State, as most teams have lost already. Only team without a loss. We're trying to win our 3rd straight Pac-12 South championship, and even Pac-12 championship for that matter. So, we still have games against UCLA, Arizona State, and Arizona, and Colorado. Even at 0-5, they have a chance to win. I mean, the worst team in the South is a 4-2 Arizona State team, who's now not ranked, but they probably played someone pretty good and lost. So, now we will check the North, and the North is just ugly. I mean, Washington State's atop of that. And then you got Oregon at 1-1, but 2-3 in total. Stanford's ugly, Cal ugly, Washington ugly, Oregon State ugly. I mean, Cal, they were projected really good, and they were actually a pretty good team. We just kind of, stuck it to them. But still, I mean, they gave it their all. I mean, that's all they can do, I guess. So we'll move on from that, and we will see the season stats thus far for the Chris Carroll. Chris Carroll thus far is having a fantastic season. 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Very good game manager. That's all I'm really trying, to get him to be this freshman year. Just try to manage games, really run through the running backs. Only 178 yards a game. That last game where he got hurt kind of faltered those stats, so it doesn't really help. He's been sacked 9 times, completing 69% of his passes. And Connor Manning doing, he's plugged in a couple times. He's done just fine for us. So now we go on to the rushing. Adrian Anderson and Dravion Young darn near split right down the middle in carries. And, they've pretty much same yards. 2 touchdown difference. They're averaging just 0.1 yard difference. They're each averaging 7 yards a carry. Absolutely crazy. Both of them, they've just been solid all year thus far. Couldn't ask for anything more from both of them. This 2 running back system works perfectly, and Anderson will be playing in our next game against Oregon. And Chris Carroll is still questionable. He will be a game time decision. So, hopefully we got him for that one. Receiving, Wesley Johnson has really emerged this season as one of the top targets thus far for receivers. I mean, a few drops last game that, were kind of ugly. Dravion Young's most receptions out of the backfield. Now, that makes sense. We go to a lot of screen plays and, try to catch him off guard. But other than that, Raylan Singleton, Anderson, and Hanley, doing their thing. Even the true freshman Isaiah Williams, I thought whenever I throw to him, he'd drop a bunch of balls. Hasn't dropped as many as I thought. But Wesley Johnson really emerging as one of the top receivers on this team as a junior. Singleton, also a junior. Matt Anderson, also a junior. Harrison, though, Harrison Hanley's a senior, so we're going to be losing him. We move to the defensive side of things, and we just look at, we'll go sacks first. Look at this. We're getting to the quarterback this year. I mean, my goodness. Not only are we getting to the quarterback, everyone's getting to the quarterback. I mean, Lowe's got 3. Walker's got 3. Kenan Brown's got 2. Shaw's Jr.'s got 2. McDonald's got 2. Katoa's got 2. Okafisi's got 1.5. And Seabrook's got 1. So, we're really getting back there very consistently. We had interceptions. Last year, we probably doubled the amount we had last season. And Corey McDonald, big interception against Oregon State, clinched the game. Kyle Moses, he's been huge. I mean, that interception against USC and then Oregon State, it was just fantastic. Sharif Shaw Jr. Oh wait, no, he didn't get one against Oregon State. That was Shooter Jr. got the pick 6. My bad. My apologies. And then Jeff Henry actually has gotten burnt a couple times these past few games against USC and Oregon State. But, you know, he got that one against Texas that was actually very big in the end zone, kind of changed the game. And, you know, other than that, there really just hasn't been much. Howard, our kicker, did the game just freeze? Oh, no. And, you know, we only kicked 5 field goals this season. Actually, kind of credit to our offense for actually getting in the end zone. We're not settling for field goals as much as we did last season. We're on pace to only average 10 field goals. That's really good. We don't want to be, you know, kicking field goals when we score touchdowns. So, very happy about that. This season has been, you know, quite pleasant to, it's been quite pleasant, to be honest. And I don't know what happened against BYU. That was quite the shocker. So now we're going to go and review the season that we've had this far. And we will see what's happened, what's been in store. So we'll start with Texas. I mean, excuse me. We're going into this game. We were just hoping to, you know, compete. Texas was, you know, they were number 17 in the country, but they were looking pretty good, coming off a very good recruiting class. And, you know, we came out there, we played really well, we ran the ball very efficiently. Everything just kind of worked for us. We went up 21-0, they scored and then got the onside kick and scored again, made it 14. Our defense, I thought our defense was fantastic. I mean, I couldn't have asked for much more from our defense. They kind of let up in the fourth quarter there, but it was, you know, throughout most of the game, they were one of the top defenses in the country. So that game against Texas, that was fantastic. And then you go to the BYU game, and I don't know what's happening here. I mean, Chris Carroll, a few costly interceptions that probably shouldn't have happened. You know, you shouldn't be turning the ball over against a really good team that capitalized like BYU. And the way they ran the ball, I mean, they ran all over us, and we only had 169 rushing yards. And the way we play, that doesn't work. You go with Malik Henry throwing for 277. It just, everything just did not work. They ran for 5 rushing touchdowns. That cannot happen against this defense. Now we go ahead to the Cal game. And if we look at this game, you know, it was just exactly what we wanted from our team. I mean, against BYU, we couldn't stop the run. And we just kind of got torched on that game. It was very bad. This game, we only allow 136 yards. Only 314 yards total offense, 17 points. Chris Carroll threw for 4 touchdowns. You know, he had a magnificent game. He looked like the true freshman phenom that we wanted last season, but we got the redshirt freshman this season. So, you know, it's always good. And always capitalizing in the red zone, only 1 turnover. That was weird because Trayvon Young has not fumbled in this series until that game. So that was interesting. Never seen him fumble. And then Idaho, wow, that was a slaughter fest. We put up 80. Basically what you would expect, you know. They couldn't do anything. Look at the top in the rushing. 11 rushes for 2 yards. That explains that game right there. And then they threw for 369 yards. So they outthrew us, but you know, we kind of completed 83% of our passes. We scored a bunch of touchdowns, and it got ugly really quick. And then we go to the USC game with one of the most interesting endings to a game I have ever seen, at least. We dominated. They couldn't run the ball, and I was really happy. They only had 52 rushing yards to our 156. They threw the ball pretty well. I mean, I think we were very evenly matched teams. Both of us really squared up perfectly against each other, and it was just we basically got the final drive because I don't know what Green was doing at the end. He just, you know, decided to panic under the pressure, and luckily we came out with a win in that game. So, and now in the Oregon State game, the ultimate trap game, playing 1-3 at the time, Oregon State, and you know, they came out to play. They definitely came out to play. You know, 478 yards for them. Like, yeah, that was just the way the game went. They just kind of outgained us throughout the entire game. Everything just kind of went wrong. Even though we had turnovers, we had lucky touchdowns on, you know, non-offensive plays. You know, we had a defensive touchdown, we had a kick return touchdown, Without those, I don't even know if we win the game. Luckily, in 3 overtimes, we end up winning, and now we go up against Oregon, one of the toughest matchups of the season. So now, we will move on to recruiting, and you know, it's just such a struggle recruiting for Utah because no one wants to come to Utah. I mean, if you're a 4 or 5 star recruit, Utah's not on your list, so we have to go for these 3-star guys just to get people to come here and, you know, fill some spots. We got a tight end possibly in Brad Golden, 6'7". What I'm looking for a big guy that can play the position well, and this guy can do just that. At 80 catching, looks very, very nice. The 6'7" frame definitely helps as well. And we also got some other players. Joseph Pugh, I think that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. How you pronounce that name? The number 2 corner. We actually have a chance at him. Why does he want to go to USC when we just beat USC? Because it's USC. Okay. You know, we just can't. Anyone's a 3-star, you know, they're on their way to Utah. And we're very thankful that we get all these 3-stars. But, you know, I'm trying to get to the next level. Chaz Johnson, another tight end. This one, 6'8". And we have a chance at him. But, you know, if you look at teams ahead, you know, it's North Carolina. He's looking ACC. It makes perfect sense. Who'd want to come to Utah? Exactly. No one wants to come to Utah. We got players that I originally put on the list, not even trying to recruit anymore. Might as well just take them off. And then if we look at who we do have, we only have 3 commits this far. John Adams, a tackle. He's a little bit shorter than I like. You know, he's still a big guy, and he's a great offensive lineman. Not great, good, I should say. But Jeff Brooks is definitely a tackle that's a little bit more elite than him, so we're good there. We actually did end up getting a tight end at 6'5" frame. Hey, I'll take it. And, you know, he's got a 76 catch, 90 acceleration, very nice, but the blocking could be a little bit of a problem, more of a receiver type. But, you know, it's all going to work out in the end. We've got a few players that we've got enough players coming in that I think we're going to replace, and we've been stacking up these past few years that it's going to start loading up right now. These players will not be significant next season, possibly the next, because we have a lot of juniors right now. If you think about the amount of juniors and sophomores that are playing on this team right now, it is ridiculous. And they're all, you know, playing at a very high level. Next year, hopefully no one leaves early. That's just my biggest fear, no one leaves early. But, you know, no one probably gets enough recognition because they go to Utah. So, hopefully this team, you know, I'm just a little bit concerned about recruiting because, you know, usually when you start winning, when you start getting a little bit better, when you win 2 Pac-12 championships, you think people will start lining up the door. But, you know, it's Utah. People don't do that, so we've got to do it our own way. We got to, you know, do it with the players that we have. So we've done well this season with what we got. We're 5-1, number 16 in the country. A little bit underranked. Oregon State didn't help that. So now we go to play Oregon. You know, they're probably still good. They're still Oregon. They're 2-3 and unranked. I'll see you guys in that video. Have a great day, and of course, goodbye.